Happy Halloween! I am Jess. You are watching Keto Rewind. Thank you for clicking on today's video. Today's video is a week 194 update of my weight loss journey. It's also the end of a weight loss challenge, or the October monthly challenge, the Fall into Fitness challenge, if you will. And also, I'm going to announce the next monthly weight loss challenge. So without further ado, let's get this video started. Okay, so before I go any further, just want to mention I am not a doctor, not a healthcare professional, not an expert. This is just my story and my experience rewinding my health from a morbidly obese weight to a healthy weight with a keto, low carb, high protein lifestyle. So you do you. Okay, so with all that said, let's talk about week 194. So I have been doing the Fall into Fitness challenge. My goal was to get out, move my body, embrace the fitness part of my journey. And I nailed that. I have diligently been putting in 4 to 5 days a week in my home gym, going for walks, being active, enjoying the weather this time of year where I'm not sweating my tail off. And I have been doing some personal bests in my gym. I've been getting the form that I'm trying to get flexibility wise and strength wise in my lower body. And overall, I am very happy with my performance. Now, when it came to the diet or what I've been eating, I went keto this month, and it was only for 30 days. And I will say it wasn't a huge step from the high protein, low carb version I was doing the month prior and just going like a high protein keto. But initially I got, an extra 4 pounds off that first week when you're really getting into ketosis. I had not been in ketosis in a while. Felt kind of good. So overall, diet-wise, 2 thumbs up. I did great. So I started this original, comeback tour with a goal in mind to take this a lot slower than I did in the years past. This was not going to be a balls to the wall, extreme approach, get the weight off as fast as I can, because I did that prior and I yo-yoed, I created new issues, and I started running into way too many obstacles. So this time around, the goal was slow it down, learn the lessons, make the changes, and live the lifestyle with just a little bit of caloric restriction. No more extremes, right? So keto and low carb, I don't feel there's a huge change. It was mostly, I had to increase my fat a little bit when I went keto versus the way I was doing with all the vegetables. So satisfaction or the diet change wise didn't feel a huge change, but I already loved eating keto or low carb and high protein. That was like how I felt. I feel my best. Not a big deal. So I'm not going to continue keto. I'm going back to low carb, high protein, which again, it's not a huge change, but with the holidays approaching, extras, like all the winter squashes that are out there, I'm going to make that concession. And not that that's a bad thing, but I'm just saying keto, you really can only do the green vegetables, if you want to have a state of ketosis. So I want to eat all those squashes and stuff and enjoy that. And that makes, when I feel good and I'm satisfied, that makes me believe and be happy with what I'm doing, less likely to eat the way I don't need to be eating and that kind of thing. But to be honest, it's not going to be a huge leap of change, Since I restarted this weight loss comeback journey, I believe it was the 6th of August, something like that. That first full week of August. When I hit my reset button with my new goals and that kind of thing, I am down 12 pounds. I maintained my weight loss through the weekend despite going through a party this weekend and having some extras, living a little. And it was just a really nice feeling to not have that urge to just go off the wall when I let up on the brakes. Because, I went to a party, normal food was going to be there. Yes, I brought my own chili, but there was all the temptation that's there. And I had the strength this time to resist it. To want more for myself, to not blow it, that kind of thing. So that was a huge win, non-scale victory. Yes, I wish after nearly 3 months I'd be closer to 40 pounds lost. But I mean, cause like in, you know, my first couple of weeks when I did keto and started this journey and like way back in day one, I could lose 8 pounds in a week, you know, that kind of stuff doesn't happen anymore. I ruined my metabolism. I just, it's not gonna just come off that easy this time around. Like there's consequences for living that extreme type lifestyle, you know, and I'm also older now. I'm 40 now. When I started this journey, I was like 37. So, you know, it's just going to be different, and I need to have that patience. But overall, I'm super happy. 12 pounds, I'll give it 2 thumbs up. I feel good. I don't feel like I'm dieting. It's going the slower pace. As much as my head wants to be done with this in a month, I'm learning my lessons and I'm making those changes that are sustainable. And that's the message I'm trying to portray on this channel. The slow and steady approach is a valid approach to a weight loss journey. Because when I get to my goal, I'm not gonna have this huge change. You know, I'm just gonna get a few calories back because there'll be maintenance instead of restricted calories, you know? It's not gonna be this complete different lifestyle and then it will cause me to gain it all back, you know? Like I'm already living how I'm going to be maintaining it with just a little bit of less calories than I need. Because after all, to be in a deficit, math does come into play. You can't eat more than you need and lose weight. So, but with that said, let's talk about the Feel Good November Challenge. Now, yeah, that sounds like corny or whatnot, candy corn, but I didn't want to, in the past, I've done such a extreme weight loss challenge, you know, no this, no excuses, no, you know, and it just drove home that the self-discipline that's in the wrong spot. It's like I meant well. I didn't want to be fat. I didn't want to be obese. And I wanted this weight off as fast as I could. I wanted to be healthy. So like the intention that I was doing was in the right place, but it's the method behind it that wasn't sustainable. So this time around, I'm not doing any of those no excuse November type challenges because I have a better idea that would make this make more sense. And as I'm learning and growing with this comeback journey, I have noticed that I need to create some barriers, some healthy rules, some self-discipline so that when I'm making that, I'm faced with an obstacle, I 9 times out of 10 choose the right way to go around it. So what I mean by that is instead of saying no sugar, no processed food, no carbs, no, you know, all these no's, why don't I just create a small barrier before I make a decision? And that's what the feel good mentality of this challenge is going to come into play, because ultimately I want to feel good more than anything. I don't want to feel bad. And that means when how I'm eating and how my body looks, how I'm feeling, I want to like what I see in the mirror. I want to feel good about it all. So in order to feel good and to drive that initiative home, I need to create a barrier before I self-destruct. Basically, this was a really cool quote, which gave me the inspiration to this. I don't know who wrote it because there was no like name for whatnot, but if you are serious about change, you have to go through uncomfortable situations. Stop trying to dodge the process. It's the only way to grow. So that to me was just, it hit home, because instead of saying no to a food because it's a bad food and everybody and their mother has an opinion on what a bad food is, redefine the reason why you're saying no. I want to feel good inside and out. So if I ask myself a few questions before I consciously choose to have that food, kind of like one of those it's like a map. Start here, answer this questions. If it's no, you go here. You know, it's like this tree that comes down and there you arrive at your answer. With that said, before I have a food that I normally would have labeled bad food or off limits or I said no to, I want to instead handle it this way. Does that food make me feel tired or sleepy after I ate the food? So if I consume this food, am I gonna feel like I need to go take a nap afterwards? Am I going to just be tired for the rest of the day and, you know, just like, or on top of that, if I eat this food, am I going to get my best night's rest? For example, if I eat alcohol or sugar in excess, I sleep like crap. I toss and turn all night. It's just weird. I'll go to bed at the same time, but I can't sleep. I don't get my best sleep that way. So then the next morning I'm tired and, you know, I'm cranky. So it's like literally can be pinpointed to one decision I had in the day prior, right? So also, does that food make me filled up, or, you know, like, do I feel full after I eat this food? Or do I have to eat a humongous quantity of this food to feel full? For example, I can't overeat chicken breast. I can overeat chips, you know, or I heard this one example. So a bag of like Lay's potato chips is literally like 5 potatoes, right? However, those potatoes are super thin, they're highly processed, they've got oil, salt, fat, they're fried, you know, and they've completely changed what a potato looks like. However, can you eat that whole bag of chips? I could sit down and eat a whole bag of chips. I've done it before. Can I sit down and eat 5 potatoes that have no butter or salt or pepper on them? Just 5 baked potatoes or boiled potatoes. No, I could never eat 5 potatoes, you know? So that's kind of like the thinking behind here. Does this food make me feel bloated, gassy, yucky after I eat it because it's just, it's a heavy, you know, like it's just not a food that I feel my best from? Again, another question, it's a valid answer, because if you eat something and you know you're going to be feeling crappy afterwards, you know what you're doing. You have only yourself to blame. So the whole point of you want to feel good all the time. You don't want to feel like crap. Does this food typically make me more short-tempered or triggered? You know, like if I eat a candy bar, for me it starts the cycle. I know if I don't eat that candy bar, the longer I go without having that candy bar, it is easier for me to stay away from it. If I have 1, I want 2, which turns into 3, and you know, before I know it, I've had 8, right? So the whole point is if I don't start in the first place, it's easier to say no. So another question I'm asking myself, after I eat this food, do I feel guilty or ashamed? You know, a lot of the foods that are labeled bad, you know, like the highly processed foods, I do feel guilty or ashamed after I ate them. I never feel bad about eating a salad, ever. So again, why would I want to feel bad or guilty, ashamed, when I can feel good about what I just did, and that feeling of good makes my day better, you know? And will it be worth it 5 minutes from now to eat this food? Or am I going to regret it? I can't tell you how many times I've done that. How many times I've devoured some piece of cake, and then afterward I felt gassy, bloated, tired, grumpy, ashamed, guilty, and 5 minutes later it went from here to here, you know, in 5 minutes. So why do I do that? You know, like it's part of those things. Is this food gonna make me feel good, or am I gonna feel like I've ruined everything, and the guilt, the shame, you know? And I guess the biggest one is, will this food get you to your goals? Will this food get me to my goals if I eat it? So if I've answered no, 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 all in this column to all those questions, the logical answer is I don't need that. Find something else. But if I've said yes, okay, go for it. You know, have the food. There's no foods that off limits. It's the challenge is, does it make you feel good? Is it worth it? So overall, that's like the goal of the challenge. And this is something that initially is going to take a lot longer to hash through this every time I'm making a decision on my food. But ultimately, it will get easier and quicker. And you know, that time it takes to make that decision of whether to have that food or not is going to be far quicker and much more efficient in my process, and I'm going to stand behind what I did because I thought about it. I took that time. Because again, this time around is about going slower, making good decisions, consciously making this effort, and making this the normal when I go forward so that I'm feeling good about what I'm doing. Because that ultimately is going to mean whether I fall and revert back to old ways, or I've learned and I've truly made that effort to change. So I hope that all makes sense. It seems like it's going to be a lot. It seems like it's a lot, but I'm just saying, make your own list of a barrier before you eat something and go through that list. And if you have all no's, okay, have the food. But if you're answering yes to all those questions, make a better choice, you know? So, and be thankful for all the work that you're putting into this. This is hard. If it was easy, nobody would be fat or obese. Yeah, but if you want to make the change, you have to put in the work. And that's what I'm learning, and that's what I'm priding myself in this channel on as I move forward in this whole journey. So I hope all that makes sense. I hope you do the Feel Good November challenge with me. I hope how I described it made sense. But in Cliff Notes, form that barrier of questions and go through that in your mind or on pencil and paper, and make sure you go through that and get the right answers before you have that food. And that barrier should slow you down. That barrier makes it a much conscious effort. That barrier helps you navigate these obstacles. And that barrier also shows that not all foods are bad foods. You know, and what everybody labels as a bad food is not how you have to label that food. Because ultimately, does it make you feel good? Does it get you to your goals? And, you know, at the end of the day, you're what matters, not what somebody else thinks you should be doing. You're right? So anyways, I am Jess. Thank you for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye!